Hello, I'm Jane. I am your Ascension guide today. So if you hear music playing in the background, it is some frequency music. It's 432 hertz because I like to keep myself healthy, well, and attuned and aligned. And I use Listening to Smiles music because duh, it's only the best ever. And if you want more information, there's the link below, and there's even a code so you can get a discount. Do you see the little flying thing? Anyway, so I wanted to hop on here quickly to share some of the thoughts and experiences that have been coming into my reality, because I feel like if it's for me, then it's probably for more than me. So hopefully this is of service to you in wherever you are in your timeline, in your now, in your ascension process, in your up-leveling, in your life experience. So it's April 1st. Yay, it's April Fool's Day. Okay. Which I am really excited about. I have been called to do the Whole30, which I've never done. It's super similar to the way I normally eat. I'm just going to be taking out some legumes and grains and chips. But I'm really being called to like completely do away with anything that's causing myself inflammation, like to release what is no longer serving me, and at the same time refilling with like nutritious fruits and veggies and light, right? And you know, a lot of times we're called to do this in the new year. Well, it is the new year. Like the equinox was the new year. It's the new year in so many realms, unless you're looking at the Gregorian calendar, in which case it's January 1st, which is so not a new year. So it makes sense that so many of us are actually being called to like clean out our vessel, purge our house, go through our clothes, spring clean. So I know that I'm not the only one kind of being called and led to do this type of purge and refill. I'm definitely not being called to fast for 30 days. I am very clear, it's very clear to me to, you know, like do it through adding in what I want and keeping out what I don't want. So the reason I'm sharing all this now on this April Fool's Day, because some of the other stuff that's been coming up, something that always comes up in my head on today is from the TV show in the 80s, the A-Team. And the one dude would always say, you know, like, I pity the fool. And it always loops in my head. And it really got me thinking today, very intentionally today, about pitying fools. Having compassion and care for those around us who err, who make mistakes, who do wrong, do the foolish things, the stupid things, imbecile things, immature things, idiotic things, frustrating things, foolish. And to have pity for someone that makes those errors, who is the fool, to me is the equivalent to my cleanse. It's me not saying, you're a fool, you're an idiot, peace out, because that would be me fasting totally, right? No food. Or I can cultivate care and compassion, not like, oh, pity, but care and compassion, really, in a beautiful, pitying way to those fools. Which to me is the same as I get to eat nourishing foods and just keeping out what I don't like, which would be judgment upon the fools. And this is the energies that are coming in. It's for us to cultivate and create more compassion from our hearts with consciousness and alignment. I get these downloads, I get these waves, I translate a whole lot, and then I get to experience it in my human life. And then I get called to share it on this and how it can be of service to anyone that's wanting to live through this now moving forward in light, not aligning with the old patriarchal paradigm that isn't serving us anymore. It's a heavier density. We're moving up as a collective to a lighter density. To do that, we have cellular shifts, physiological shifts, cognitive shifts, energetic shifts. We have heart shifts. We get to align with those shifts and keep moving. If we are going through these shifts and pausing and rooting our feet down and taking a position of I'm right and you're wrong, you fool, then we are sticking back into the timeline and paradigm of non-movement, stagnation, heavy density, blah. And I have been witnessing this around me with communities that are splitting and fractaling, friendships, relationships in my own life that are splitting and fractaling, and out of whatever the reasons are. Not righting and wronging them, just recognizing the isness of them keeps me aligned so that I can still hear what is in my highest good. So that when I become the fool and I make the mistake, I error, I get frustrated, I get angry, I get confused, I speak too soon, I speak where I am, which may be in a place of like freak out, kind of like when I hit the mouse the other day. But when I lost my train of thought because I went back to the mouse. Damn, I do that. God. Anyway. But the remembering that I am also that fool. And so when I express myself as the fool, that I can give myself care and compassion and pity. And not sit in that like, oh, I'm so pitiful. Oh, I messed up. But like, oh, I have compassion. I did a thing and I didn't like the way that felt. I have enough self-awareness now that what I did, what I said, what I thought wasn't in alignment with my higher self, and I didn't even recognize that until it came out or I saw it in reflection or response from those around me. So then I can have compassion for me and grow from it, and then I can up-level this shit by actually going to those that I hurt, that I wronged, that I harmed, and sharing where I am now. Hey, I realized that when I did this thing, said this thing, acted this way, I thought it was right at the time, and now it's, if I could go back and change it, I probably would, but I can't because that's a thing, you know. Well, that's a whole other type of quantum healing that I offer. But for like, you know, general purposes only. Typically, we can't go back in time and change our words. I can say I'm sorry, which I was talking with some people about this recently. This like, I'm sorry thing, like that's like saying, yeah, you're a fool and I have pity on you. Okay, like what is that? It's nothing. I likened it to when those people came over to the United States before they were the United States, and they were like, hey, you Native Americans, your land, nah, dog, is mine now. I don't want to build stuff on it, and you can just go away, right? Ownership of a thing that no one has ownership of. It's the earth. Tangent. That's where Jane gets really passionate, because Jane loves the earth and all the beings on it. So, you know, when the peeps went and came over and they took the land and they were like, oh, it's my land. And then, you know, years and years go by and we're all kind of related to so many of those people that came and took the land from a whole community of beings. in a really righteous way, of a position of, well, the way we do it is better, and so goodbye to you. So we were able to recognize the ickiness of that and up level and say, oh my God, I didn't even realize it, like, that's white privilege, and I didn't even realize that, like, we stole your land, and I didn't realize that I was righteous because of my religion. Snap. And so we were able to up level and be like, oh my God, I am sorry, right? So cool. So we're at this, like, level of I'm sorry. Great. It's not a bad thing. However, I feel like there's a next step. There's an up-leveled expression after I'm sorry, after being foolish or recognizing foolish behaviors, right? Missteps, sins, missing the mark. It's funny how these words are all so related and how they can be used against us or for us in our growth or not. So when we can up level past I'm sorry, what does that look like? It looks like doing something about it. So I can say, hey, Native Americans, sorry that my ancestors took your land. Sorry. They've heard it a million times, right? So what can I do now? Well, maybe I can procure some land, even though I don't even believe in land ownership. Anyway, I can procure land and create a community space where it's inclusively welcome to all, and create dialogue and how to grow a community where it's not the us and them, but it's the all of us growing from that space that up levels I'm sorry to actionary shifts and community changes. And it really sucks, like, when, like, I've recently had someone, I'm trying to put this nicely, do and say something at me to where I was like, okay, it's cool, blessings. And they kind of sat with that, and they realized that it didn't feel good, so they apologized. And I was like, thanks. And my thought, like, I didn't even respond, because it was like, so what are you gonna do about it now? Like, sorry. Like, sorry is a judgment. Sorry is saying I am judging. I'm still wearing judgy pants, so I'm gonna find a right and a wrong, which still stands in the righteousness realm, and that's where apologies come from, as opposed to being like, oh man, that wasn't where I am now, where I was then, so I'm here now, and I'm gonna move forward. And man, thanks for being cool, or thanks for supporting me through this, like whatever. But like making an actionary step makes the sorry into something for real. Like, I feel like that's where we are, so that we can, Mr. T. Yes, Mr. T. Yeah. I was like, what is his name? Mr. T on the A team. I pity the fool. I give care and compassion to those that make mistakes. Happy April Fool's Day. What a nice remembrance. So I wanted to hop on here and share that. Like, we make mistakes. We do things that aren't in alignment. We think thoughts that aren't of our highest self. We say things that aren't aligned with love and acceptance all the time. And we do things that aren't congruent with a totally peaceful, inclusive life. What we do after we recognize that is the difference. And we can do it whenever. Do it right now. Right this very now. That's what I wanted to hop on here and share, is the potential reality that we can collectively live in when we can pity the fool. It's amazing. Mr. T. I don't have my gold chains on, but I got my jade necklace on. That'll do the trick. So yeah, I think that's really all I was wanting to share. I hope that everyone is enjoying wherever they are in this now. I feel like April is a really big month for a lot of clearing. A lot of stuff that isn't serving us is going to go away. And it's like taking out the garbage, remembering that like we only have so much space for like garbage dumps, and we can actually use that garbage for better things that actually make our life easier and more creative and more fun. It's not like the garbage is bad, it's just we don't need it in the form that it's in. And I don't mean to refer to people as garbage. Bing! Time's up. I'm roasting a squash because apparently I'm going to eat vegetables for a month. Which I like vegetables, so it's all good. But yeah, it's like taking out the garbage and reusing it into something more divinely inspired, you know. So I hope that this was of service to you. And if you would like any information on how to have some one-on-one time or group love with me, there are links below. You can check them out. And you can hit me up. We can make this a thing. So yeah, I think that's it. April Fool's Day. And energy's coming in, clearing out what we don't need, filling up at the same time on the things that are nourishing everything and growing from it, and taking a stand for who we know we are inside. Not spending all the time explaining why we were another way. Rather being who we are now, and what would the being of who I am now do, say, or think that's in alignment. It's the difference between a position and a stand. I was talking about that today, which I guess I'll share now. So, and it'll be quick. Taking a stand. You know, I can stand, I personally, Jane, stands for a world that's loving, compassionate, abundant, and unified. I will stand for that until the day I die. And it doesn't mean that I am in a position. They're different. To me, standing is I'm firmly rooted in this alignment where no matter what's swirling around me, I'm standing. My eyes are closed. I don't even know which direction I'm facing, because I know that I'm aligned in my vision. I'm standing for this. Now, if I'm in a position, I'm like facing it, right? I'm like, okay, this is the position I'm in. Well, then things can change direction, and then I have to change direction, right? And then it's like if the wind is blowing this way, I'm like, yeah, and then it moves. I gotta move. I change position. Now, if I'm in my stand of, no, I am solid, I am firm, I am grounded, I'm connected, I'm aligned, I'm heart, I'm here, I'm present, I'm now. Whatever. It doesn't matter which way anything is going around me. I maintain my alignment. My connection with my higher self. My connection with love. And the remembrance that, hello, we're all one. Like, man, when we look at these fools out there and we're like, oh, fucker, like, remember, that's you in a different body. Doesn't matter how they're acting, how they're behaving, what they're saying and what they're doing. That's you. It's me. I've been the fool, and I've been the one to be pitied. I've been the one to be judged. I've been the one that was given compassion. And I've luckily, unfortunately, been able to grow into a space where I can actually have compassion for all the fools. That's silly. Humans. Anyway, so thank you so much for taking the time to check this out. I hope the rest of your nows are fantastic and amazing. And may you walk through this month may you walk through it with ease. Get rid of what you don't need. Grow what you want. You got this. Okay, have a good day. Bye.